Hey guys, thank you so much for joining us today. And please, my apologies for waiting so long, but I've really needed to take some me time and to get myself back on balance. Sometimes we find that we put so many other things in front of us, or we put other people's opinions above our own, and it makes you lose, perspective. And nobody wants that. So I needed to take some necessary time for myself to get myself back on track, and balancing, really is important to me, and I need to make sure that I own that. So today I wanted to speak of just that, how we tend to listen to other people and put their opinions above our own. There's this guy, and he really wants to reach out to a person that he sees as important, but he listens to a relative tell him that that person is not for you. No one can choose a person for you. You can choose that person. You know why? Because you're the person who's going to be with that person, that quality time, that private time, that time of getting to know the individual. Another individual can always give you their opinion, and you can take their opinion into perspective. But sometimes you can have even a friend, and you tell that friend about the individual that you want, that you're interested in. And that friend sometimes will give you the wrong advice, because your friend might just want to be involved with that person. Or, perfect example is, you have a guy, right? And he'll have a person with what do you call it? Benefits. What do you call? I forgot. When you're dealing with a person and you're just basically dealing with them on that level of having those friends with benefits situation. So he has a friends with benefits situation going on with this woman, and then it stops because he's interested and his eye is on someone else. Well, the woman who he cut off with the friends, or should I say the benefits, she might still want to have a relationship with this person, but he doesn't realize it because he thinks that it's been, it was a mutual decision. But not all the time is it a mutual decision. So she'll give him the wrong advice because she wants to get back in where she was. And then you'll have people who are extended friends and family. Sometimes you need to just go it alone. Take the necessary time. Meditate and pray on it. If God is directing you to do something and you feel a certain pulling to the situation, why are you still asking questions? It goes back to the same thing I was talking about with the high school thing. In high school, you're asking your friends, oh, what do you think I should do? But at the same time, even in high school, you've had people steal your date, from you. I told you at the prom, there was a guy who I thought was very handsome, but I never really had much of a conversation with him. He stole a kiss from me when his date went to the loo. You just never know. Sometimes, and I mean, while it could have been just an innocent thing, because after that, we never even saw each other again. You still have to look at the principle of it all. It's like we all have our own things, our own niches, our own possibilities. I was in a meeting earlier today, and in this meeting, they had an instructor, and he's, the guy who was basically constructing the meeting, and he's giving his own opinion and what have you. And while it's good to have someone's opinion, you still have to go it alone. You still have to make your own personal opinions. That's part of wearing the big boy pants. That's part of wearing the heels for the woman, okay? That's part of you coming into your own. We all have aspects of leadership within us. But if we don't activate them, if we don't use those skills, what happens to them? Do you want them to just dissipate? We need to make sure that we are owning our own. When you are working at becoming the best you, you have to put yourself in the ingredients, you know. I can't sit up here and make a curry dish without curry, you know. We have to look at all of the different aspects. What part are you leading? What role are you leading in this aspect of the word? You know, sometimes we can complain about so many things going on around us, but if we're not willing to put ourselves in the equation, what are we doing? You can assume certain things are going to happen, but if you're not putting yourself in it, what's happening? You know, I was invited to do this talk recently, and I had to really think about what it was that I was going to speak about, how much time I had to apply to it. You know, there's so many different things that you have to look at when you're being invited to do certain things. You're placing your best foot forward. When you're putting your best foot forward, how are you doing that? Are you allowing others to direct and motivate you? And it's good to be motivated by others. That's not the problem. The problem is that maybe we are leaning on other people too much and not owning our own aspect of the issue. It's time that we look at, we have a new year coming, you know. This month just basically began. But that doesn't stop the planning process just looking at a date. We have to look at what exactly is it that God is preparing us to do. How are we moving forward? What exactly is the goal that we have in mind, you know? I was talking to my niece recently on the phone, and, you know, we were talking about different plans in place. And, you know, it's always good to put a plan together, and it's not always going to be perfect, and sometimes you make a plan and it doesn't follow through the way that you want it to. But the plan is for you to put yourself in it, to get involved, right? All of us are going through our own aspects in life, our own features in life. What you put on the table before you is going to be probably different than what I'm going to. Our planning skills might be different. Our ways of looking at things are different, perhaps. You know, even when you're creating a menu for the relatives that are coming over, you're looking at other people's diets, trying to figure out, okay, what can I place on my table that everyone is going to be able to be comfortable with. You know, this guy was talking to me about, it's always easy to fall into the line of food, right? About he had some jerk turkey or something for the holidays, and he didn't want to go back to the other food because that particular item really stood out to him because it tasted so great that he didn't want to have anything else, you know. That is his opinion, that is his choice, and that is him owning what it is that he'd like to own during that particular time. When are we going to step up and do the same? You know, you made a choice. What were you going to wear this morning? You chose what you were going to wear. You made a choice. What color it is that you want to wear. Is it comfortable? Is it stylish? Whatever. When we decide to step into that leadership role, it's going to look different for us than it is another, you know. Right now, everyone is, you know, sort of in a panic. They don't know exactly what's going to happen in the White House, you know. We're all looking at things that affect us and how we might improve those things. But while we're looking at even the way in which we can improve our lives, it has to first start with us. Self-love, looking at yourself, evaluating where you stand, where you want to go. Where would you like to be? Who would you like to enjoy this experience with? You know, I have a friend who was asking me to make some plans for the birthday coming up. And I already knew what I wanted to do, how I wanted to set things up. But it's important that even when you're discussing with another person, that you bring more things to, you know, more plans. Oh, excuse me. Oh my goodness. And I did get a good night's rest. We have to put some of these plans in perspective. Now she knows what she wants for her birthday, but she wanted certain opinions. I gave her certain opinions, but I know that she's the type of person who needs to see certain things. She's more of a visual person. So while I can sketch out different ideas, visually I need to make sure that I'm clear on where I think or what I think she would like. Because part of getting to even know another person and knowing what their likes and their dislikes are, that is part of love as well. Loving the journey, loving this friend, loving, basically adding more to what maybe the person's ideas are not as clear, but they know what they want, but they can't put it in perspective. So you give certain ideas, you give certain vision or visualizations, and sort of speak, so that that person is able to see it unfolding. Then they get excited and they're like, okay, what are we going to do? When are we going to pick up this item? When are we going to pick up that item? Because, everyone's looking at things differently. Now, she wants to lead a healthier birthday. Usually, when we do the birthday thing, we go out to eat and we choose certain foods that we want. But if you're choosing a healthier lifestyle, what does that look like? Maybe making a salad, maybe buying a salad, but you being able to choose what you want to go into the salad, We are looking forward to a new year. She is looking forward to a great birthday. While we're looking at whatever the goal is, we have to first say that it starts with the individual. What is it that you want to accomplish? What is it that you want and need in your life? Maybe you need to write that list down. When I start writing a pros and cons list, I already know the relationship is over. Because I'll be honest with you, I already know that once I sat down to even write that list, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to balance things out. I'm trying to find, the longest list is the one that's going to win, right? So if the longest list of things that I don't like and I don't think that this is working out, before I even sat down to write this list, I already knew certain things were already on the table. What we have to do is look at more than just what we're seeing before us. Let us look at how it is that we want things to land, to be, Are we going to find more things that are going to make us happy this year coming? When we think of what the goals are for the new year, let us begin with today. What do you want more in your life? If you're going to allow yourself to continue to be led by other people, and don't get me wrong, hearing another person's opinion can be very helpful. But what is your heart saying to you? Because here's the thing. Sometimes when we are waiting and we know that certain things should have already happened, it's like, okay, I'll give you a perfect example. Let's say you like somebody and you've been waiting and holding off all this time, and somebody else sees what you see and they just sweep the person off their feet and take the person, and next thing you know, this person's engaged and they took the person that you were interested in. All because you're so busy worrying about other people's opinions, worrying about what could not happen. Because sometimes we look at so many negative aspects of it that we've talked ourselves out of the deal. It's like you go to a restaurant. Now, I've been one person to do this myself. I look at the menu and I know what I'm craving, but the menu doesn't have that on it. Sometimes we can either recreate the meal, because certain diners, certain restaurants allow you to, adjust the meal. and you choose whatever it is that you like, you're going to enjoy it even more so now, because you know what you've been craving, and they are allowing you to add your 2 cents to it. You know, I remember going out with Bosley. We went out to this restaurant, and they gave so much bread and buttered rolls beforehand. I ate so many buttered rolls that when the meal came, I couldn't even eat the food. You know, now I gotta force myself to eat something, because of course I still had the flavor that I was wanting to taste. You know, the tip of my tongue. So let us begin to really look at the importance of your own opinion, because at the end of the day, you have to deal with that person. You have to deal with that experience. You have to look at whether you made the right conscious choice. Everyone else's choice is not your choice. That person is not going to have to hold that person, the other person's hand that you chose. You're the one holding that person's hand that you chose, okay? We are getting ready to enter a new year. We have to know that we've improved certain things this year, so that when we go into the next year, we are already into the next year with more of the tools that we worked at perfecting. Now, no one is perfect, but get those tools together. Remember, all these different lessons that you've learned are helping you to improve yourself and become the better you. Take your opinion and know that you are praying over the decisions that you're making, but that you are being more responsible as your own leader of yourself. Okay? That's been my word. Thank you for joining us here at Indigo Moon. Know that you are special with just being the unique person that you are. Enjoy your day.